Hi, my name is Brian Moran, and we're here today with Jack Albertine, Dr. Jack Albertine. Jack, can you please tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yes, my name is Jack Albertine. I grew up in a little town in Pennsylvania called Hazleton, Pennsylvania. I went to college at a school in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania called King's College, and then won a fellowship to the University of Virginia and took a Ph.D. in economics from the University of Virginia and started my career as a professor at Mary Washington College of the University of Virginia, to which I was appointed by the Board of Trustees of the University of Virginia, and then eventually went to Washington to work for Senator Benson of Texas as a legislative assistant, working on economics issues, banking issues, energy issues, and general economic issues. And eventually, Senator Benson asked me to become the executive director of the Joint Economic Committee of the Congress of the United States. The Joint Economic Committee has 10 members from the Senate, 10 members from the House, and I ran the 50 or 60 member staff of that committee for several years. And we put together during that period the first time in the history of that committee a Joint Economic Committee report about the economy of the United States that every single member, all senators, all members of the House of Representatives, all Republicans and all Democrats signed. It was a unanimous report, the first time in the history of the committee, and it called on the Congress to create a number of different pieces of legislation on tax policy to promote growth, on energy policy to promote American independence of energy, on monetary policy to promote a stable economic growth policy from the Monetary Authority. And the result of that was the Wall Street Journal did a number of editorials which lauded the committee for its forthright and forward-looking economic program. That led to my coming to the attention of Arthur Levitt, who was president of the American Stock Exchange, and he asked me eventually to become president of the American Business Conference, which he was founding. The American Business Conference was an organization of 100 CEOs of some of the highest growth companies in America, both industrial companies, energy companies, retail companies, and investment banking companies. During that period of time, I was able to work with that organization and the CEOs of 100 fast-growing companies on a series of economic programs that were adopted by the Reagan administration. And one of my highlights of my career is President Reagan invited me to a meeting at the cabinet with a number of very distinguished business people where he asked me to lead his effort to reform the tax code in the 80s. And I did that, and we were successful. And it was one of the great highlights of my career to be of assistance to a President of the United States who really adopted economic programs and national security programs, which did a great deal to restore this greatness to America. I subsequently became the vice chairman of the board of the Fruit of the Loom Company. We worked very diligently to take that company from a private firm to a public company. We had a tremendous run in terms of increasing the company's net revenue, net income, earnings per share, and eventually that company became a very, very, very successful American manufacturing company. I was able to leave that company having accumulated a significant amount of equity in the business. And I eventually, in 1990, started Albertine Enterprises, which is a public policy firm, as well as a firm engaged in investment banking activity in Washington, D.C. We try to marry Wall Street with Washington. We have had a very, very successful business, again, over the last 27 years. The Fruit of the Loom Company continues to be our client, has been for 27 years. The Polaris Company has been our client for 27 years. And we've had the privilege of working for many, many different corporations, foundations, not-for-profits, and a great many American unions, particularly in the aviation area. We're very proud of that work. Recently, the pilots of the Allied Pilots Association, which is the pilots of the American Airlines Company, 15,000 strong, went through a difficult period of bankruptcy, and as a result, they had their pension frozen, and as a result of that, they were able to secure in the bankruptcy process a one-time stipend from the bankruptcy court to offset some of the tremendous damages which were done to their pension programs and other programs for the pilots. Unfortunately, a bankruptcy judge can create a pension offset with a damage award, but a bankruptcy judge cannot create a mechanism for the recipients of that award to put it into a 401k IRA program tax-free. And so the Pilots Union of American Airlines asked us to see if we could get a one-time tax credit passed by the Congress of the United States exclusively to provide this kind of a benefit to the pilots of American Airlines. We were given almost no chance to get that done. There is an organization called GovTrack, which handicaps the probability that a bill can become law. We were given a 0 probability of success, but working with a number of pilots who were part of the Government Affairs Committee, ultimately we were able to get that bill passed through the House of Representatives and the Senate. We had some technical issues associated with it, so we had to pass it a second time. But that bill, S-2614, became law. And as a result of that, the pilots of American Airlines will have a benefit of about $225 million over what they would have had when they roll over their programs into a 401k one. So that we're very proud of the fact that pilots of American Airlines who are mission-oriented, who are dedicated people, dedicated to flying people and their families around the world safely, that when they retire, they'll have somewhat of a better retirement program because of the efforts we made on that Bill 2614. We were able for the company Polaris to help the Polaris Company actually begin and construct a viable defense business with their ATVs, and through efforts again on Capitol Hill of helping to provide some funding for the R&D efforts for that company and that development of the military business, that has become an excellent business for the Polaris Company. So we're proud of our business. We're having great fun still doing it. We have a great series of clients and partners, and we expect that Albertine Enterprises will be continuing to create value for our clients in the years ahead.
Clearly, you work on many different deals, and you work with different government agencies. Do you have a particular agency that you have a better relationship with, or is it more across the board?
We are basically generalists. We work with both the House of Representatives and the Senate. We work with all the committees of the House of Representatives and the Senate, depending on our clients. Some clients are interested in tax policy, as I've suggested, which means we work with the Ways and Means Committee of the House of Representatives and the Senate Finance Committee. Some of our clients are interested in issues related to contracts for the military. That means we work with the Armed Services Committee of the House of Representatives and the Armed Services Committee in the Senate. And we work with both Appropriations Committee, the House Appropriations Committee, the Senate Appropriations Committee on appropriation matters related to defense and other considerations. We work on trade policy a great deal. We were very focused and worked on the creation of the WTO, of the NAFTA agreement, the CAFTA agreement, the Colombian trade agreement, the free trade agreement with Korea. We are continuing to work on those as we speak. And for those, we work on the Ways and Means Committee, Senate Finance Committee. We also have been asked by a number of entities abroad to work on various issues. So we work with the House and Senate Foreign Relations Committees. We work with the Department of Treasury, of course, on tax policy and issues related to regulatory matters that Treasury, U.S. Treasury has oversight on and the IRS has oversight on. We work, of course, with the Department of Defense very closely, with the Army, Navy, Air Force, with the Defense Intelligence Agencies. We work with Homeland Security on a variety of issues. We work with the Coast Guard, have done that for many, many years. We've worked with the Veterans Administration over a long period of time. So we work with a wide variety of government agencies, largely dependent upon our clients' needs and the issues that our clients want us to help them navigate through the labyrinth of the Washington bureaucracy.
Clearly, you've been successful. I'm curious, are there any successful strategies that you use or your firm uses that you can share with us?
Our most successful strategy is shoe leather. We work very, very hard. Some people think this is a glamorous business. It is a business. It isn't. We go to meetings virtually every day on Capitol Hill, most of every day on Capitol Hill or in the agencies. So number one, we work very, very hard for our clients. Number two, we have very good clients, and they have very good issues and very good interests, which we are proud to support. If you have good clients, good interests, and if you develop a strategy from A to Z and you work hard at it, you can be successful. The most fun of this business actually is the developing a strategy which will allow your clients to be able to secure their interests in the Congress of the United States or in agencies. We're extremely open and transparent. We make sure when we meet members of Congress and the staffs or agency individuals or agency heads, we make our case as forcefully as we can, but we're very careful to make sure that we're very transparent about what our issues are. We try to educate members of Congress and in the agencies on what we think are the important aspects from a positive point of view with respect to our clients. We also like to make sure we cover what perhaps other people might say on a negative basis about what it is our clients are interested in doing, so that policymakers have all of the relevant information to make their decisions. And we're convinced that because we are so transparent and because we make sure we talk about all the upside and downside of what it is we're trying to achieve, that policymakers are in a position to make the right decision for the country and the American people.